but he has reached his limit. Shame on you. Jian Wushuang felt embarrassed. If he was just an ordinary Mahayana cultivator, wouldn't he be stumped by the first metal plate? The more he thought about it, the more he felt that he was useless. He was unwilling to give up. He couldn't give up just because he couldn't see clearly. He was not the kind of person who gave up easily. Although he wanted to return to the Jetian continent, for the sake of his origin, he didn't mind the struggle. Even if he had to risk half his life, he had to become the strongest. He calmed down and focused his mind, and began to comprehend the parts that he could see clearly. In the structure, there was a stable space and time. After the combination, it was time and space. But this was not the end of the structure diagram. From the space of nothing to something, he had to condense his source of life. This was the essence. Although he couldn't see the structure clearly, his thoughts were clear. But he just couldn't fully grasp it. Something is missing. Jian Wushuang shook his head and continued to comprehend again. Every time he felt that he had gained a lot. But he was getting further and further away from success. What is missing? Jian Wushuang felt more and more empty, and he had some negative attitude towards himself in his comprehension. This state is not suitable for continuing to practice. Wow! He came out of the time acceleration. You succeeded again? Gagarin said in surprise. It has only been 60,000 years. Compared with the last time, it is not much slower. But after a careful look, he found that something was missing in Jian Wushuang's body. The origin did not jump. Did you see it? Jian Wushuang asked when he noticed that Gagarin's eyes were not right. Your origin? Why is it flowing? Gagarin was surprised. You must have gone astray. If you keep flowing like this, you will eventually become an empty shell. Jian Wushuang frowned and said in surprise, why didn't I find that the origin was flowing? He hurriedly felt his origin carefully. It was a space. It was gray and unclear. But the power of the origin was very strong. Now he has the disordered origin, and his realm has reached the limit of the Taoist. But it is still far from what he thinks is perfect. In terms of the divine body, it is 100,000 times. It is not that outstanding. The key is that there is a disordered origin which can transform various powers. The power of the origin now is enough to perform the eternal change, and the power of 100,000 times is enough to burst out a combat power of 200,000. It is possible for Dao Jun to fight against the Lord of the Universe. This is still pure combat power, without the use of external objects. Such a powerful force was actually said by Gagarin to be fading. He did not feel it. Jian Wushuang, although I don't know why you have become like this, but you and I are both the origin of disorder. I know very well that your current origin is a state of passing. We, the World Beast Clan, are innate life and a great civilization born in disorder. Our origin is also eternal and endless. But this eternity will be broken. Do you know why so many world beasts were willing to create the starry sky? It was because eternity was broken. They were infected with a strange substance, and eternity began to pass. I want to use the creation of the starry sky to enter a shell and live. As a result, they were betrayed by the God King, and in the end only condensed the 12 star spirits and the broken things of the great priest. Those world beasts who lost eternity are finished. Jian Wushuang has heard some of the secret. That's what Jormungandr said. But he didn't pay attention to it at the time. I didn't expect eternity to be broken. Is it because of some substance? He quickly took out the metal plate. Could it be that what kind of substance exists on it? Jian Wushuang's heart was full of thoughts, and he didn't believe Gagarin completely. But when he heard that he was going to die, he was still very cautious. It doesn't matter. My current power will be extinguished sooner or later. He pretended to be calm, and then asked, I didn't feel the flow you said. This cycle should be very long. Gagarin shook his head and said, I don't know. But there is one thing I know very well. It's better if you don't do it. Once you do it, the speed of flow will be better. If it is really like you said that it will extinguish your origin and leap to a higher level, then jump quickly. There is no solution to this state of flow. Once it is completely extinguished, your path of cultivation will be over. Jian Wushuang took a deep breath, collected the metal plate, and stopped asking. Although he was very anxious, he didn't dare to show it. What if the other party cheated him? I'll pay attention, Jian Wushuang said with an unchanged expression. You go and take everyone to the 5th floor to practice. I'll go to the 6th floor. Tell them that we'll be out soon. Be prepared. After saying that, his figure flashed and disappeared on the 5th floor. In the first 5 and 6 floors, he quickly performed the eternal change. The power surged and rose. There was no sign of weakening. But when the sword was drawn, the power leaked out and could not be replenished. A sense of passing surged in his heart, making him widen his eyes. It's true. This time he was completely panicked. If the origin was annihilated, his comprehension would be slower. He was already stuck on the 5th floor. After being annihilated, the origin that came back from cultivation was still in a state of passing. What should he do? Go to the 6th floor first and talk to Chao Wuxing. As for how to repair it, he will talk about it after he gets the metal plate on the 6th floor. The 6th floor space. The stars are shining. Looking at the starry sky, Jian Wushuang was dumbfounded. It really is a starry sky. It looks like the stars are twinkling, but in fact, the twinkling stars are all a magnificent universe. The galaxies that are connected in a line are the long river of time and space. Shock. Not only he was shocked, Chao Wuxing, who had just entered this place, was the same. He thought he had returned to the starry sky. He excitedly looked for monks everywhere. As a result, after entering those universes and stars, he found that there was no life. Only the power that belonged to the starry sky was floating. He wandered around here for tens of thousands of years, but he didn't see anyone. He was not anxious at first, but later he began to get anxious. A strong man like him originally had no interest in time, but it was different here. Here it was like being at home, but he couldn't find anyone. That feeling of loneliness reminded him of the years on the 8th mountain. Swish! The appearance of a figure seemed to let him grab a life-saving straw, and the figure rushed over in an instant. Jian Wushuang didn't expect the other party to be so excited, and he suppressed Chao Wuxing directly with his telekinesis. Then, in front of the other party, he took out the metal plate of the 6th floor. He ignored Chao Wuxing and just explored the 6th metal plate. And there was a letter attached to the metal plate. Sure enough, he guessed that the 6th floor was a watershed, and his senior brother would definitely leave some hints. He opened the letter. Junior brother, I think your strength should have recovered to the peak at this time. I am very happy with your strength. In the next few days, you should go to the heaven of this world. Remember, when you go to the heaven, you must be careful of the universe C and don't be careless. For the 6th layer of metal plates, you only need to comprehend the mystery and combine it with yourself. Although you can't improve the level of origin, you will find that your origin will not be weaker than the origin of the peak beast, and even comparable to the origin of the God King. This is the greatest use of the metal plate. Do you think our teacher is very powerful? Keep working hard. This is the first cage. When we meet in the disorderly land, you still need to cross the starry sky. After reading the letter, Jian Wushuang frowned. It's useless for the current situation. He doesn't care about the use of the metal plate. The origin of the God King is his goal. Now he has to solve the backlash brought to him by the 5th metal plate. By the way, I can ask Chao Wuxing. He is a member of the God Eye clan and must have practiced the God Eye secret method. Thinking of this, he released the restriction. Chao Wuxing let out a long breath and said, Is this the treasure that targets my God Eye clan? You suppressed me but didn't kill me, why? Jian Wushuang didn't waste any words and said directly, It was not my intention to suppress you, but someone asked me to do so. Who is it? Who dares to target my Divine Eye clan? You don't really think that the Divine Eye clan is invincible in the world. Jian Wushuang found it a little ridiculous. How come this Chao Wuxing is not sensible at all? Could it be that he forgot how the Divine Eye clan disappeared? In the following conversation, Jian Wushuang found that the other party really didn't know. You don't even know how the Divine Eye clan was destroyed? I know, it was harmed by a traitor. Not that. I mean, do you know who killed the Divine Eye clan in one move? Haha. Who can kill my Divine Eye clan in one move? It's ridiculous. My Divine Eye clan is invincible in the world. No one can defeat our Divine Eye clan head-on. The secret method of our Divine Eye clan can burn everything. You won't understand that power. Jian Wushuang scratched his head. The other party was indeed a fool. It seemed that he really didn't know the secrets of the Divine Eye clan. But the other party was comparable to the God of the universe, so he should know such things. Something is wrong. Jian Wushuang's eyes moved. This was the first time he observed the other party in the Nine Prisons Tower. There were problems with Chao Wuxing's origin and soul. When he was in the outside world before, his strength was not enough, and he could not detect the other party's origin and soul. But this is his territory. Only now can he see clearly what is wrong with the other party's body. His soul is split. Jian Wushuang's heart moved, and he understood it instantly. A split soul, then the other party must have a clone or the original body. Thinking of Chao Wuxing's calm mind before, but became anxious after arriving here. Now he can see it clearly. The Chao Wuxing in front of him is most likely a clone. Not afraid of death, but afraid of being suppressed. Then his original body is not difficult to guess. It is very likely the person who was suppressed in the giant snake secret realm. Why are you looking at me? Chao Wuxing looked alert. Jian Wushuang raised the corner of his mouth and said with emotion, Chao Wuxing, you hid it so deeply. No wonder you knew nothing. Turned out that you were a cut-out soul. Didn't your original body tell you the secret of the annihilation of the Divine Eye clan? Or are you just a tool separated by my original body? Don't you need to know so much? What do you mean? Chao Wuxing's face changed drastically. He didn't expect that his identity would be seen through. Jian Wushuang crossed his arms and said leisurely, Now that we've come to this point, is there any point in hiding it? Why don't we just tell it all? I'll tell you the secret of the God's Eye clan, and you tell me what's suppressed in the giant snake's secret realm. How about that? Don't even think about it. Chao Wuxing refused directly. What happened in the giant snake's secret realm is the most important secret. He is just a clone, and he inherited very little of the original body's memory. Or in other words, he only inherited the good memories, and did not inherit the rest. That's why he is so conceited. It is precisely because all of them are positive memories that he will tell the secret of the giant snake's secret realm. Jian Wushuang was not panicked at all and said calmly, I can guess it even if you don't say it. Isn't it just suppressing a cosmic god of the God Eye clan? You don't really think I'm just a mortal, do you? Let me tell you, the reason why I want to suppress your God Eye clan is because of the trust of your God Eye clan's ancestors. Not only your God Eye clan's ancestors, but also your God Eye clan's creator. They all want to suppress you God Eye clan. This is fate. You can't escape it. Jian Wushuang wanted to use the old trick to fool the other party. As a result, Chao Wuxing didn't listen at all and roared directly, My fate is in my own hands. Don't say it again. The worst is death. Even if my God Eye clan dies in battle, we will not be suppressed by people like you. You, Immortal, will never understand how powerful our God Eye clan is. You will never understand why we fight. It is obvious that Chao Wuxing has his own set of ideals and beliefs. The God Eye clan is great. No room for doubt. Jian Wushuang was speechless and sighed, Okay. I won't ask about the giant snake's secret realm. Now I'll make a deal with you. How about that? Don't even think about it. Chao Wuxing seemed to be stubborn and refused everything. This deal is to let you go. Huh? This time Chao Wuxing wavered. As long as he left here, he would commit suicide and his soul would return to his original body, which would mean no loss. But if he was suppressed here, his original body would be in trouble. He was split out, but he was very useful. What deal? Your Divine Eye secret technique should have been cultivated to the 6th level. Why are you asking this? Chao Wuxing was stunned. Could it be to cultivate the Divine Eye secret technique? This thing is not difficult to obtain. Many holy places in the North Corner region have inherited it, and even the Divine Eye secret technique of the 7th turn is available. There is no need to learn from him. I want you to pass on the fifth and sixth divine eye secrets to me. They are not the methods of cultivation, but the experience of cultivation. And you have to guide me until I learn them all. Don't do bad things in secret. As long as you teach me, I will let you go. This condition won't make it too difficult for you, right? Jian Wushuang looked at Chao Wuxing. He was also betting that the other party would be of great use when he got out, and he was unwilling to give up this clone. After a moment, Chao Wuxing nodded and agreed. The bet was right. As for whether to let Chao Wuxing go, of course he would not let him go. And there was no way to let him go. The other party couldn't get out after entering. So when making the oath, Jian Wushuang only said to let the other party go, and he would never take action. Letting go here means opening the 9 prisons tower. It's none of his business whether the other party can leave or not. I can teach you, but you don't respect my Divine Eye clan, and it's difficult for me to deal with it. How do you want me to respect you? Jian Wushuang is also a person who respects teachers. He immediately gave Chao Wuxing a gift of apprenticeship. This is not shameful. Learning from others is a matter of pride. A real man should be able to bend and stretch. Besides, the other party is not a bad person. It's just apprenticeship. It's not like I haven't apprenticed before. I accept your apology. Chao Wuxing put his hands behind his back and said leisurely, Now I will teach you from the 5th turn. Jian Wushuang casually built a flow rate of 100,000 times. He began to concentrate on studying. It took him almost an era to learn the 5th turn alone. It took him 1,000 years to learn it in the outside world. After learning the 5th turn, he did not rush to learn the 6th turn. Instead, he began to comprehend the 5th metal plate. The fuzzy feeling disappeared. But it did not disappear completely. Now at least the main body texture can be seen clearly. He comprehended it again and gained a lot. But the sense of power loss became more and more serious. He now understands it, and the deeper he comprehends, the more the source of loss. Looks like I have to hurry up. He put away the metal plate and began to learn the 6th turn. This time, he was in seclusion for hundreds of epochs. 10,000 years had passed in the outside world. The first 6 turns were completely Mahayana. His current strength, once fully exploded, will be an amazing level. Dao Jun, divine power of 500,000. Unfortunately, he dared not use too much of this power. Otherwise, the source will be lost quickly. Jian Wushuang. Now you should keep your promise. Of course. Jian Wushuang smiled and opened the door of the 9 prisons tower directly. Outside is the cave world in the ancient domain star. Jian Wushuang pointed to the outside world and said, You go! Thank you, Chao Wuxing said, and rushed towards the outside world. But just as he walked to the door, he was dragged back fiercely. What's the matter? Jian Wushuang, you lied to me? Jian Wushuang spread his hands and said innocently, I didn't lie to you. Didn't I let you go? Ha ha. He laughed loudly, and his figure flashed and left the 6th floor. No longer pay attention to Chao Wuxing. Let the other party do what he wants. One day, the other party will understand that it is much better here in the 9 prisons tower than in the outside world. The water in the outside world is too deep, and they can't grasp it. Perhaps, when they arrive in the land of disorder and meet Brother Ghost Eye, these God Eyes will be truly free. He is now protecting the God Eyes. The 5th world. He just appeared. Several figures flew over. Uncle Wushuang, Brother Wushuang, Jian Wushuang. Identify people by voice. Jian Wushuang said with a smile. Everyone, long time no see. You have been in seclusion here for some time. Hundreds of thousands of years have passed in a hurry. How come you haven't made any progress? Juchen curled his lips. Xianxia said indignantly. The key is how much stronger you are. Brother Wushuang doesn't show off. Don't think that you are a demigod now so you can put on a posture in front of Brother Wushuang. Believe it or not, I can take care of you with one hand. Huh, one hand? Who do you think you are? Juchen heard this and immediately wanted to fight. Zhang Ni's face did not move, as if he had gotten used to it. Okay everyone, long time no see. Let's have a drink and chat. He also summoned the black prisoner in, asked about the current location, because it's time to go out and explore. He is the weakest now. The others are waiting to go out and show their skills. Especially Xianxia, he has improved the fastest and is now comparable to the god of the universe. 9-dimensional time, enough to run rampant. Juchen is not bad either at the demigod level and has not yet completely refined the microcosm. Zhang Ni's cultivation speed has slowed down. He is still at the 7th calamity level, but his divine power is comparable to that of a demigod. This combat power is much stronger than he was before. Looking back at himself, he has a lot of problems. The source of disorder is flowing away, and the 5th metal plate has reached a bottleneck. The 6th metal plate, he is at a loss. Watching the others take off one by one, he wants to give up the source of the peak beast and just merge with the Tao. Don't let the source flow away and there will be no chance to regret. Of course, this is just a complaint in his heart. How can I really give up like this? After chatting with everyone for a long time, he asked about the outside world. Black prisoner drank a glass of wine and reported, "Master, we are currently in the core area of the North Corner domain, far away from the giant snake's secret realm. Even if the ancient domain star is moving at full speed now, it will take 1,000,000 years to reach the giant snake's secret realm. If you want to go out and explore, you can go to Chaos City, which is the most prosperous ancient city in the North Corner domain." Chaos City? Jian Wushuang has heard of it. He really needs to go out and find out about the giant snake's secret realm. The most important thing is to fully comprehend the 5th metal plate. Let's go to Chaos City, a corner of the 9-sided spacetime, the North Corner domain, a territory covered by chaotic airflow, but countless treasures were born, attracting many monks to fight for it. From then on, a Chaos City was established here. Outside the city, an ancient ship drifted over. There was a group of people standing on the bow. It was Jian Wushuang and others. Took them decades to get to Chaos City. Traveling through chaos, for decades just by rushing, they picked up dozens of chaos treasures. Although the value to the Lord of the Universe is not high, the probability of encountering treasures is also surprising. Of course, this is because the speed of the ancient domain star is too fast. Faster than the Lord of the Universe. It seems to have only flown for a few decades. If an ordinary top master were to fly, I don't know how long it would take. With this calculation, the probability of obtaining treasures is not that great. There seems to be a special breath ahead. Xiangyang took the lead, soared into the air, and looked at the Chaos City in the distance. The long city wall was like a prehistoric beast crawling on the ground. Master, I also felt that breath. The divine power is very strong, and it feels not inferior, Black Prisoner said. Now Black Prisoner has complete control of the microcosmic universe, and his divine power is comparable to Xiangyang, with 80 million divine power. He can't be weaker than him. The opponent's divine power is almost the same as Xiangyang. Jian Wushuang heard this and raised his eyebrows and looked over. I didn't expect to encounter such a powerful breath just after arriving in Chaos City. Isn't it said that the strongest in the 9 directions of time and space is only a demigod? Are there very few lords of the universe? How could such a powerful existence appear in Chaos City in the North Corner region? This strength can already dominate the 9 directions spacetime. Just ask and you'll know. Xiangyang was full of confidence, and his figure flashed towards Chaos City. Don't be rude, Jian Wushuang reminded. He came to Chaos City to make a living, not to cause trouble. A moment later, at the horizon, outside the city, Xiangyang and the handsome man in the aqua-blue Taoist robe fought from outside the city to the horizon. This way of greeting is too strange. It is very likely that Xiangyang has been pent up over the years. Jian Wushuang rubbed his brows. Black Prisoner, go and persuade the 2 of them to leave. Yes, master. The Black Prisoner grinned, and his round body shot out like a thunder bead. Instantly, he was beside the 2. After talking for a while, he quickly took the 2 to the flying boat. Brother Wushuang, this man is very strong, but he is still a little behind me, Xiangyang said proudly. The man in the aqua-blue Taoist robe was not angry, but said gently, I am indeed not as good as you. I didn't expect to meet such a powerful Taoist friend when I left Jufeng spacetime today. It can be regarded as letting me open my eyes in advance. Leaving Jufeng spacetime? Everyone was stunned. Then they understood the meaning of the other party's words. Dao Yu, may I know your name? Jian Wushuang asked with a bow. Zhang Haichao. From the Yuanling divine sect, no Taoist name, and few people I know in Jufeng spacetime. Xianxia touched his nose after hearing this. They didn't have time to be humble to cover up their identities. Unexpectedly, the other party was also a low-key master, which saved the explanation. Then, after introducing each other, only then did they talk about going to the Universe C. At the same time, they also learned about Zhang Haichao's legendary life. After being conceived in the mother's womb for 8,000 years, the day of birth was when the heaven and earth were eclipsed. When he was born, he was a congenital creature. He practiced at the age of 9 and became an immortal at the age of 18. He achieved the Tao at the age of 100. He survived the catastrophe for 1,000 years. In just 100,000 years, he became the strongest person in Chaos City. After practicing in seclusion for hundreds of epochs, he achieved the power of a demigod. Or it can be said that he was comparable to the god of the universe. After a short conversation, everyone admired him. Xiangyang couldn't help but say, "Your speed of practice is better than mine." Jian Wushuang also sighed, saying that the other party was still the ultimate way. Now he is comparable to the god of the universe, and there is almost no difficulty and danger in crossing the universe sea. It is not difficult to achieve the god of the universe when you reach the heaven. He is a rare genius. I actually admire you more for being able to walk around the Jufeng spacetime. It's a pity that I don't have the opportunity to walk around the various spaces in the Jufeng spacetime. After this farewell, I guess the next time we meet is in the heaven. Zhang Haichao clasped his fists. Everyone also clasped their fists to see him off. This was the first time they had seen a demigod cultivator, and they were about to go to the universe sea. Crossing the sea, heading for the heavens. Jian Wushuang also yearned for it. Unfortunately, he couldn't go there now. At least he had to wait until he had thoroughly comprehended the 6th metal plate. After the other party left, everyone sighed. Only Jian Wushuang kept staring at the place where Zhang Haichao disappeared. Haichao approached and said, "Master, do you want to leave him behind? It's not too late to chase him now. Who do you think I am? A natural-born killer." Jian Wushuang rolled his eyes at Haichao unhappily. He just noticed that Zhang Haichao seemed to have practiced the divine eye secret art. And the other party also saw his divine eye secret art. Now his divine eye secret art has been perfected to the 6th level. Naturally, he can feel the same breath. He felt that breath from Zhang Haichao. It was a divine eye secret art that was more powerful than his. Glorious! If it was true, it was indeed against the will of heaven. He was able to practice to more than the 6th level, which was an endless power. Endless! Jian Wushuang seemed to have thought of something, and his figure flashed and he just explained it. Then he entered the ancient domain star. Then he entered the 9 prisons tower. The 6th floor. The crazy Chao Wuxing kept cursing Jian Wushuang. Seeing Jian Wushuang suddenly appear, he rushed over directly. But he suddenly stopped. Jian Wushuang was stunned. He hadn't suppressed the other party yet. He softened so quickly. He didn't think much about it, and asked, "Master Chao, why do you have to do this? I really didn't lie to you at the beginning, I swore." Although he was not bound by his oath, he was disordered. But he still said to let the other party go. It was Chao Wuxing who didn't leave, so he couldn't blame him. If he wanted, he could keep the door open and let the other party escape. Chao Wuxing suppressed his anger and gritted his teeth and said, "Since you don't let me out, why are you here? Are you here to laugh at me? Humiliate me? You might as well kill me directly. How could it be?" Jian Wushuang shook his head and said, "I came here to ask you about the 7th turn of the divine eye secret technique." Chao Wuxing turned his head and said, "I don't know," unwilling to cooperate. Jian Wushuang smiled bitterly. It seems that he hurt the other party too badly last time. The 7th turn of the divine eye secret technique. It's already the universe level. Chao Wuxing probably doesn't know. He didn't bother about it anymore. Blocking the other party's face, he took out the complete version of the Divine Eye Secret Technique Inheritance. He studied the 7th turn. It's very difficult. But it was not impossible to practice. It was definitely much easier than the 5th metal plate. It was just that practicing the 7th turn of the Divine Eye Secret Technique required too many external objects. He could only split a telekinetic clone to comprehend the 7th turn. The original body left the 9 Prisons Tower and returned to the warship. At this time, Xianxia and his companions had already entered the Chaos City. The warship was docked outside the city. The black prisoner was in charge of guarding. After Jian Wuxuang came out, he looked up at the Chaos City. It seems that we will have to stay here for a long time. He was not in a hurry to find Xianxia and others. He only took the black prisoner into the Chaos City. The style of the city was extremely simple. It was a trace of time. The shops on both sides of the street sold all kinds of treasures obtained from the chaos. Jian Wuxuang just needed to exchange some treasures, so he found a relatively large shop to trade. This senior, what do you need to buy? A cultivator who was only at the emperor level in the store hurriedly came over, but he greeted the black prisoner. Seeing this, an old man beside the counter immediately walked towards Jian Wuxuang and said, "Dao Yu, do you want to buy something? Let me introduce it to you." Jian Wuxuang didn't care, and took out a list and handed it to the other party. The old man was stunned after just one look. This is too much. The small shop can only take out 1/10. If Dao Yu is in a hurry, I can collect the treasures on it with other shops. How long will it take? Jian Wuxuang asked. 3 days. Okay. This is the deposit. He threw out a ring. The old man hurriedly took it, and with a little exploration of his telekinesis, he found that it was hundreds of millions of cosmic crystals, and he was happy in his heart. This is a big customer. Jian Wuxuang didn't stay for too long and found another store. He also took out a jade slip and paid part of the deposit. The 7th turn of the Divine Eye Secret Technique requires too many treasures. The entire Chaos City may not be able to gather them all. He is now very curious about how Zhang Haichao cultivated it. Could it be that the treasure fell from the sky? After searching the city for several days, he still couldn't even gather 10% of the treasures. Most of the treasures here were substitutes. Simply buying is not a solution. Jian Wuxuang took a deep breath. These days, he has learned a little about the city. The largest force in the city is the Yuanling Divine Sect, which is the sect where Zhang Haichao once stayed. With Zhang Haichao, the Yuanling Divine Sect is worthy of being the #1 sect. Then there are the 4 major families: Zhang family, Wu family, Qin family, Mo family. These families have universe masters above the 7th tribulation realm sitting in charge, and they also have countless treasures. And this is Chaos City, which can be said to be a treasure-gathering place. In ordinary places, such families have at most tens of billions of universe crystals, but the families here are estimated to have reserves of universe crystals at the trillion level. And there are many precious chaos treasures. In theory, how to open these treasure houses correctly. Jian Wuxuang is very knowledgeable. Either reincarnate into such a family, or marry into the family. These are all tricks he has used. But he didn't fancy the 4 major families. Yuanling Divine Sect, a sect that can cultivate a fierce man like Zhang Haichao, is worth a visit. I heard that it has been recruiting disciples recently. The threshold is immortal. When it comes to emperor, it is fixed, and it cannot be cultivated well, unless it is a first-grade origin or the emperor of the ultimate way. Jian Wuxuang's current identity is very suitable. Master, how about I go with Xianxia to break through Chaos City and help you search for treasures? Buying all the time is too inefficient, Haichao said aggrievedly. He felt that Jian Wuxuang was too kind-hearted. He could have robbed them, but he insisted on buying them. It was simply unworthy of their fighting power. Jian Wuxuang's face was full of black lines. Don't say these anymore. Cultivation is not about fighting and killing, but about human relationships. He sighed and said, You go to Xiangyang and the others and tell them to meet at a tea house in the south of the city in the evening. I will go to the top of the city alone. Well, I'll go now. He Qiu nodded and disappeared in a flash. Jian Wushuang was left alone. Just as he was about to go to the top of the city, he felt a call. He took out the sound transmission jade slip, which was a message from a store. A batch of treasures have arrived. You can go and get the goods now. He turned around and walked towards the East City. After a while, he arrived at the store. The owner was a powerful person in the robbery realm, but he was very respectful to Jian Wushuang, because he had seen the black prisoner brought by Jian Wushuang, whose fighting power was unfathomable. But he called Jian Wushuang the master, so the shop owner dared not neglect Jian Wushuang. Even though Jian Wushuang only had the aura of a Taoist master, he always treated him as a guest of honor. Dao Yu, take a seat. I heard that the treasures have arrived. I wonder how much they are. Jian Wushuang sat down and asked with a teacup. We have collected 80% of them. This is the greatest ability of our shop. If we need all of them, we will probably have to wait for many years. The Chaos Golden Lotus has not appeared for several epochs. If we are unlucky, we may have to wait for a long time. Jian Wushuang was not in a hurry and said calmly, It doesn't matter. Just keep looking for it. Let me know when you get it. Okay, this is 80% of the treasures. You keep it first. The shop owner carefully handed over a ring. Before Jian Wushuang could take it, he heard footsteps outside the door. A wicked young man, accompanied by 3 or 5 guards, strode into the shop. Seeing the visitor, the shop owner quickly stood up to greet him. It is a great honor for Master Chan to visit our shop. What treasures do you need? The shopkeeper was very attentive. This was the young master of the Chen family, one of the 4 major families in Chaos City. He was born only 100 years ago, but he has already reached the perfection of Dao Jun and mastered the 2nd grade origin Dao. He is also a famous genius in the city. Tianyuan Holy Water. The young master of the Chen family, Chen Xinggu, said proudly with his hands behind his back. Take out all the Tianyuan Holy Water in your store. I want it all. This. The shopkeeper was a little embarrassed, because the Tianyuan Holy Water was sold to Jian Wushuang. There is not a drop left in the hall now. Of course, he would not directly say that he had sold it all to Jian Wushuang. He still has principles in doing business. Mr. Chan, you bought the Tianyuan Holy Water to practice the 2nd turn of the Divine Eye Secret technique. The shopkeeper was also very smart and immediately introduced. You can actually buy Tianyuan Bao Huanglian, which is made by curing Tianyuan Holy Water. The effect is not inferior to Tianyuan Holy Water, and the price will be much cheaper. Chan Xinggu nodded and agreed. Okay. Take them all out. I want them all. Okay. Wait a moment. After the shopkeeper finished speaking, he turned and went into the side room. Jian Wushuang also stood up and prepared to leave. He was not interested in Tianyuan Bao Huanglian. Thinking of going to the top of the city to take a look, he heard that there were many strong people there who had carved their cultivation experiences. Just as he stepped out of the door, a breath that made his origin cheer suddenly came. Jian Wushuang turned his head suddenly and looked over. It was a small box in the shopkeeper's hand. When the other party opened it, a yellow lotus appeared. There was a chaotic airflow above it. It was the Tianyuan Bao Huanglian. Does it have the scent of Wanlu? I'm afraid this is not the Bao Huanglian that was nurtured with Tianyuan water, but the Bao Huanglian that grew under the Wanlu tree. It also has a special name, called Endless Lotus. Jian Wushuang has a lot of experience and recognized it at a glance. Without waiting for the young Master Chan to take a look, he said first, This young master, I heard that you want Tianyuan Holy Water. I do have some here. I wonder how much you want to buy. Chen Xinggu turned his head and glanced at Jian Wushuang. He saw Jian Wushuang when he entered the door. He was just a Taoist master and didn't take him seriously at all. He looked over when he heard about Tianyuan Holy Water. How much you have, I will take as much as you have. He no longer looked at the Tianyuan Bao Huanglian at this time. The owner was not angry either. Both sides were big customers and he couldn't afford to offend them. Yes, 1 caddy. Jian Wushuang took out a small jade pot and handed it over. Chen Shengwu disdained to check it and threw it to an old man with a hooked nose next to him. Master, it's Tianyuan holy water, no problem. The price of 1 pound of Tianyuan holy water is about 5 to 7 million universe crystals. The old man with the hooked nose even said the price. Upon hearing this, Chen Shengwu waved his hand and said casually, "Give him 7 million. Yes." The old man with the hooked nose took out a Chenkuan bag and threw it to Jian Wushuang. "Boy, keep it." Jian Wushuang put it away casually, not caring about the universe crystals at all. What he wanted was the everlasting lotus. After getting the universe crystals, he pretended to be frugal and said, "It's a waste for me to use holy water. When will I use this Tianyuan treasure yellow lotus? How many universe crystals does this treasure yellow lotus cost?" The shopkeeper was a little confused. Jian Wushuang spent money generously before. Why did he suddenly become frugal? But he didn't ask much, and quoted, 3 million. In response, Chen Shengwu just sneered and didn't care at all. He didn't care about money, and he didn't look down on the calculus of such casual cultivators. "Let's go, master," the old man with the hooked nose whispered, telling the special features of the Tainyuan Bao Huanglian. Chen Shengwu also stopped and said directly, "Wait, I want this Tainyuan Bao Huanglian. This." The shopkeeper was a little entangled and looked at both sides. Difficult. Jian Wushuang turned his head and glanced at Chen Shengwu, and finally locked his eyes on the old man with the hooked nose. This person is not simple. The other guards were only at the peak of perfection, with a divine power of 50,000. This man's divine power fluctuations were very strong. He was a scattered calamity, a universe master who failed to pass the calamity, at least the 5th calamity realm. Otherwise, he would not be able to see the strangeness of the Tainyuan Bao Huanglian. It is estimated that the other party did not know the Immortal Lotus, but just felt that this Tainyuan Bao Huanglian was unusual, and he suddenly took out the Tianyuan holy water. This aroused the other party's suspicion. "Boy, you are too smart," the hook-nosed strong man sneered. "Since you took out the Tianyuan holy water, now get out. Don't let me see you again. Get out." Jian Wushuang moved his mind and snatched the Tainyuan Bao Huanglian from the shopkeeper directly, and casually gave away the 7 million universe crystals he had just obtained. "You are looking for death." The hook-nosed strong man was furious and attacked directly. Jian Wushuang was no less than that. A vine suddenly shot out from his wrist and pierced the old man's chest directly. "You are looking for death." He was already very polite. He took out the Tianyuan holy water and gave it to the other party, and then went to buy Tianyuan Bao Huanglian. When the shopkeeper saw that they were fighting, he quickly advised, "You too, don't fight. I still have a lot of Tianyuan Bao Huanglian." He hadn't reacted at this moment, and only thought it was fighting spirit. Jian Wushuang heard it and said directly, "I want them all." He wanted to try his luck. What if the rest of the Tianyuan Bao Huanglian is also the everlasting lotus? "Boy, you are too greedy." After the hook-nosed strong man broke free from his restraints, he said angrily, "Do you know who you are attacking? Uncle Zhang, don't talk nonsense with him. I have informed the family. A strong man will come later and he can't leave." Chen Shengwu looked embarrassed. He didn't expect that Jian Wushuang, a Taoist master, would dare to force buying and selling, and dare to attack in public. After seeing the dark red vines wrapped around Jian Wushuang's arms, he was even more surprised. He was able to hurt his protector. "It seems that you are really not afraid of death." Jian Wushuang smiled bitterly. He wanted to be low-key, but in the face of absolute interests, he would not give in. After seeing that the newly taken-out treasure yellow lotus from the store was of average quality, just an ordinary Tianyuan treasure yellow lotus, he was not disappointed. He collected it casually and threw out a ring. Then he was ready to leave. The hook-nosed strongman stretched out his hand to stop him, but was directly lifted up by the Moyun vine. Jian Wushuang left so openly. His figure flashed and disappeared on the street. When he appeared again, he had reached the top of the city. He had no mood to see the scenery at the moment. Instead, he entered the ancient domain star. Swish! On the top of the mountain, there was a lotus of everlasting life there. He held it carefully in his hand. With this lotus of everlasting life, plus the previous treasures, it is enough for me to practice the framework of the seventh revolution. Then I will comprehend the fifth metal plate. After making up his mind, he began to absorb the lotus of everlasting life. The flowing origin slowed down. It only took a few breaths to absorb the treasure. The main reason is that it is more troublesome to practice the secret technique of the divine eye. After turning on the time acceleration, he practiced for several years before he could fully combine the treasure with the secret method. Ha! He exhaled a breath of turbid air and said sadly, "It's still a long way off. It would be great if there was another lotus of everlasting life. But such a good thing is not so easy to come by." Then he took out the fifth metal plate. After walking through the structural diagram, he gained a lot. Can take him a long time to digest. But his essence is also flowing faster. This flow has reached a level that he can clearly perceive. According to Gagarin, he doesn't have much time left. If he doesn't speed up, he will really become an empty shell. Leaving the ancient domain star, standing on the top of the city again, the time in the outside world is only a moment. He began to read the cultivation experience left on the top of the city. Ordinary people's is naturally useless. He wants to see the rumors about Zhang Haichao. He asked the nearby practitioners. He came to a beacon tower on the top of the city. There is a tower here, and on the wall below there is an eye. This is the experience left by Zhang Haichao. Immersed in it, it is really useful, but not much. Especially the experience about the secret technique of the divine eye. It is even more pitiful. There is also a little experience of the sixth turn. Of course, he doesn't need it. Regarding the content of the seventh turn, there is only one word, life. Carefully comprehending it contains a lot of things. It's a pity. There is only one word. If it is all the experience, it would be great. Jian Wushuang was a little unwilling in his heart. Huh? He frowned and saw a secret in the font. This is a small Easter egg hidden in it. Seeking life and forgetting death, the snake spirit appears in the world. The infinite Yuanling reappears in the world. A poem. Child's plaything. The meaning is very simple. To find life, you need to forget death. The appearance of the snake spirit is a bit strange. Jian Wushuang did not think of more content. The infinite Yuanling should refer to the Yuanling divine sect. Is there a problem in the Yuanling divine sect? Or is it that there is life about the seventh revolution in the Yuanling sect? Jian Wushuang's mind was active. He looked at the last sentence and reappeared in the world. Isn't this sentence Zhang Haichao said about himself? If so, it is indeed quite conceited, but it is not surprising. The other party has the strength of the first in the 9 directions of time and space, so it is not crazy to say this. It seems that I have to go to the Yuanling divine sect. Jian Wushuang was thinking, and a strong breath suddenly descended, accompanied by several familiar breaths. Ha! He turned his head and looked at the top of the city. The leader was a pale old man with a hooked nose. Next to him, there was a woman in plain clothes, with delicate skin, fluttering skirts, a cold face, and a pair of eyes with endless stories. The breath is very similar to Chen Xinggu, and she should also be a member of the Chen family. Jian Wushuang didn't expect that this group of people would find him so quickly. He shook his head and sighed. Trouble. Boy, you are dead today. You dare to attack our Chen family in Chaos City. Chen Xinggu shouted. Today I will let you know how powerful our Chen family is. Aunt, it was this boy who robbed the treasure I wanted to buy in a store and injured Uncle Zhang. The cold woman raised her eyebrows slightly and looked at Jian Wushuang. All his strength was seen through. Little guy, you are just an immortal fairy, but you can injure Protector Zhang. Is it because of the long vine wrapped around your arm? As soon as these words came out, Jian Wushuang got goosebumps all over his body. He hasn't been called a little guy for a long time. After taking a breath, he said leisurely, Little girl, you look quite iconic. Why do you speak so old-fashioned? How dare you talk to the saint? The hook-nosed strong man shouted angrily. This is the grandmother of the Chun family, and also the saint of the Yuanling holy sect. Just based on what you just said, I will let you die 10 times. Jian Wushuang spread his hands and said indifferently, Then you can do it. He didn't care. The long vine will take action. Haha. The little guy has a stubborn temper. Chun Qingling smiled lightly and said, I didn't come here to seek revenge. I just want to see the long vine on your body. Yes. Jian Wushuang casually threw out, and the dark red long vine suddenly shot out. One long vine is 15 million divine powers. Chun Qingling also swung her robe to stop the long vine that rushed over. She could also feel that Jian Wushuang did not kill him. It was just a test. But she cared more about this long vine. How do you have this long vine? Chun Qingling asked in surprise. Have you been to the giant snake secret realm? The giant snake secret realm is on the other side of the north corner domain. Even the top masters cannot cross the airflow to get there. They need to be brought there by the tribulation realm. In her opinion, it is even more impossible for Jian Wushuang, an immortal. Jian Wushuang was also surprised. How could a country leopard know the Moyun vine? This is a long vine transformed from the leaves of the world. Could it be that there is also a Moyun vine in this world? Do you know it? I have seen it. Chun Qingling's eyes were anxious, and he asked, Little guy, can you tell me? Did you get this in the giant snake secret realm? No. Jian Wushuang told the truth. Because the other party couldn't do anything to him. He wanted to know why the other party knew about the Moyun vine and mentioned the giant snake secret realm. Could it be that the two were related? He suddenly became interested. Chun Qingling was a little disappointed. But after all, she still let her see the Moyun vine, and her tone became gentler. Little guy, I heard that you are collecting treasures all over the city. It should be used to feed this long vine, right? Yes. He finished telling the truth and lies. Chun Qingling felt that he had grasped Jian Wushuang and recruited him. I can help you. You can have as many treasures as you want, but you have to do me a favor. Auntie. Chun Shenggu saw this and felt that something was wrong. Aren't you here to find trouble? How can you talk about feelings? Shut up. Chun Qingling glared at him, and scared Chun Shenggu so much that he dared not say a word. How can I help you? Jian Wushuang became curious at this time. I think this is a good opportunity. The other party is familiar with the giant snake secret realm and is also the saint of Yuanling Shenzong. There is a lot of room for manipulation. Chun Qingling smiled in his heart and said, Why don't we go to another place to talk? Okay. Jian Wushuang immediately sent a message to Heiqiu and others, asking them not to worry about him. Then he followed Chun Qingling to Chen's house. He ignored Chun Shenggu and others and entered Chun Qingling's courtyard. The courtyard was decorated in an antique style. There were mountains, water, and an ancient tree. Please. Chun Qingling raised his hand to signal. Jian Wushuang sat down gracefully. He tasted the high-quality tea brewed by the other party. Chun Qingling, the saint of Yuanling divine sect, has perfected the 8 tribulations realm. She also practiced the divine eye secret art and has practiced it to the 4th turn. At the peak combat power, she is probably 30 million divine powers. But she is so polite to him. I'm afraid this favor is very difficult. This is the list of treasures I need. Take a look. He pushed a jade slip over. But Chun Qingling didn't even look at it, and said calmly, I agree. This is too easy. Not even looking at it, more generous than him. Little guy. Wait. Jian Wushuang frowned and said, One more condition. You say. Chun Qingling's beautiful eyes flickered. Jian Wushuang took a deep breath and said seriously, My name is Jian Wushuang. Please don't call me little guy in the future. He felt so cheesy that he got goosebumps all over his body. Now, the only ones who are qualified to call him little guy are the star spirits or his own old man. The qualifications of the others are too far behind. It's not that he discriminates against the people of this world. It's mainly that they are not worthy. Okay, little one. Chun Qingling smiled gently. Jian Wushuang almost vomited blood. Ha ha. Chun Qingling covered his mouth and chuckled. Okay. I won't tease you anymore. I will have someone send you the treasure later. As for my conditions, I will tell you when you cultivate Changteng's power to the Lord of the Universe in the 9 Tribulations realm. Jian Wushuang was surprised and said, Aren't you afraid that I will regret it then? You can try. Although Chun Qingling was smiling, the domineering power in his eyes made Jian Wushuang's heart tremble. As expected, he is a native and he speaks so arrogantly. I have another condition, he continued. I have a friend who has practiced the secret art of the divine eye. I heard that the leader of your Yuanling divine sect has practiced the secret art of the divine eye to an unfathomable level. Can I use the heart he left behind to comprehend it? Chun Qingling's eyebrows moved and said, Yes, but you have to join the Yuanling divine sect first. This is the rule. Even I can't change it. Jian Wushuang was also very decisive and said, Yes. The two hit it off immediately. He was arranged to stay in a small courtyard. Chun Qingling took the treasure list and went to look for treasures. But when she saw the treasure list, she couldn't help but be surprised. This little guy is so greedy, but thinking that the stronger Changteng is, the more help he can give her, she no longer hesitated. Even if she exhausted her worth, she had to collect these treasures. She didn't know that the treasures she collected were not fed to Changteng at all, but were used by Jian Wushuang himself. Fortunately, the other party didn't know what treasures Changteng needed to grow. A few days later, in the sky above the Chun mansion, a line of figures were hidden in the void. What is Brother Wushuang doing? I'm so strong, but he's eating my wife's food. Xianxia crossed his arms over his chest, lowered his eyebrows and looked at the courtyard below, his face dark. Is Jian Wushuang planning again? I wonder what he's going to do this time. Zhou Chen felt that Jian Wushuang was going to play a big chess game. Could it be that Uncle Wushuang doesn't like my mother anymore? Why is he so close to that woman? Zhang Ni's eyes were cold, and she felt a little indignant. Only Heiqiu's small green eyes were rolling around, and he didn't say a word, and his heart was calm. In the courtyard, Jian Wushuang took the ring handed over by Chun Qingling, and he was ecstatic. This was faster than robbing. In a few days, all the treasures were collected. Now, his 7th turn divine eye secret technique can be a great success. As for perfection, it depends on understanding. Treasures can only lead to the door. Cultivation depends on relying on human relationships. After all, this was not his first time practicing. Over the years, he had risen from the top to the bottom, climbed back to the top, and fell to the bottom again. Practice was no longer difficult. That was the divine eye secret technique. Jian Wushuang did not bother to be polite with Chun Qingling. He said he was going to retreat and sent him away. But the other party's aura was still lingering around. He knew that the other party was still worried that he would run away with the treasure. Natives are natives. Jian Wushuang returned to the house with his hands behind his back. He said in his heart, Have you seen enough? If you are too idle, go to the giant snake's secret realm to explore the way first. Swish! Several figures appeared in the room. The honest black prisoner stood beside Jian Wushuang at the first time. The other 3 were led by Zhang and I, and Xiangyang and Zhou Chen stood on the left and right. Brother Wushuang, are you too cautious? Xiangyang sat casually on the chair and said leisurely, No one here can threaten us. Why waste time? I will grab whatever you want, such as the Chun Qingling outside. After that, he looked at Jian Wushuang with a smirk, as if you know what he is doing. Seeing this, Zhang and I blushed and quickly changed the subject. Uncle Wushuang, won't you go to the giant snake's secret realm with us? He was also worried that Jian Wushuang would fall here. Juchen didn't care. Anyway, he had already become a demigod. He couldn't break through by going out or retreating. The opportunity required was too great. It was very likely that he would have to go to the heavens to break through, or Jian Wushuang would come up with some strange inheritances for him to get for free. Facing everyone, Jian Wushuang was very indifferent. The path he wanted to take was different from everyone else. It was not something that could be solved by going out and retreating. He needed to explore this world little by little, unlock the secrets in it, and collect the God Eye clan. After all, the God Eye secret art was extremely important. He had a hunch that once the secret technique was perfected, perhaps, it would be the opportunity to leave this world and the beginning of facing everything. I won't leave for now. I still have some things to do. You don't have to worry about me. Go to the giant snake's secret realm to explore and collect useful information. After hearing this, everyone said nothing more. After leaving the black prisoner, they disappeared into the room. But before leaving, Jian Wushuang gave the three people a task. That is to explore the core area of the giant snake's secret realm and engrave the formation in the secret realm. This is very important. If you don't understand the formation, you can't enter the core area at all, unless the formation voluntarily allows them to enter. Jiang and I was very serious about this. Juchen and Xianxia were a little confused, but thinking that the giant snake's secret realm was a secret realm that the nine-sided spacetime and even the heavens were afraid of, it must be hiding a big secret. Now Jian Wushuang wants to comprehend the formation in it. I'm afraid it won't take long for them to enter the core of the giant snake's secret realm and explore this huge secret realm. Thinking of this, the two of them were also very happy in their hearts. This is a great opportunity. As for whether Jian Wushuang can break the formation, in their opinion, there is nothing Jian Wushuang can't do. What a pity! After everyone left, Jian Wushuang encountered a big trouble. The evolution of Moyunting was very smooth, but the ultimate Moyunting required treasures far beyond the prepared treasures. This point, not to mention Jian Wushuang, even Moyunting itself did not expect it. Although it has advanced to the ultimate form, it has not broken through to the cosmic god. But the evolved Moyunting has the power to make the cosmic god tremble. Thousands of vines. Each vine has a divine power of 99,990,000. Superimposed together, it seems huge. In fact, it is just 1,000 quasi-cosmic gods, because the power of each vine cannot be superimposed on each other. But the combat power of thousands of cosmic gods, added together, it is easy to deal with cosmic gods below 4 stars. This also made Jian Wushuang feel more at ease. After all, he had to explore the secret realm of the giant snake later. Without some top combat power, he might have a car accident. After all, it is still an external force and cannot be controlled. After helping Mo Yunting solve the problem of advancement, he continued to study the secret art of the divine eye. The 7th level is too difficult. Endless. Jian Wushuang slowly opened his eyes. It is too difficult to find that inspiration when practicing alone. Previously, just some insights left by Zhang Haichao were enough to make him gain a lot. The other party's cultivation experience is too important. He must get it. It's time to talk to Chen Qingling. Master! Black prisoner stood up and looked at Jian Wushuang. I'm going out for a while. You follow me secretly. Yes. One is a man and the other is a dark man. They left Chen's house and went to the Yuanling holy sect in the city. Who is coming? The disciple guarding the holy sect asked. He is not very strong, but he is very arrogant. It is worthy of being the first major sect, suppressing the Taiku dynasty for many years. Jian Wushuang bowed slightly and said, I am here to visit Her Highness the Saint. After that, he handed over a token. The disciple was startled when he saw this, and then his attitude softened. He took Jian Wushuang directly to the holy mountain. Halfway up the mountain, let him come in alone. A cold voice came from the cave. No need to ask, it was Chen Qingling herself. She is Zhang Haichao's disciple and a saint. It can be said that she is the actual controller of the entire holy sect. Even the leader of the Yuanling holy sect is not as strong as Chen Qingling, not to mention his talent. Even so, he insisted on letting Jian Wushuang join the Yuanling holy sect, and then he took out Zhang Haichao's cultivation heart. Jian Wushuang had no choice but to join. After entering the cave, there was no courtesy. He directly organized the sect entry ceremony. Jian Wushuang has sworn many times. Unfortunately, he was never bound. After making the oath, a smile appeared on Chen Qingling's face. Dao Yu Chen, I have joined the sect now. I am cultivating my mind here. Jian Wushuang looked at him with a look of expectation in his eyes. Chen Qingling put away his smile after hearing this and said in a serious tone, Jian Wushuang, I will not hide it from you. My master's cultivation mind is in the Enlightenment Pavilion on the top of the Holy Mountain. If you want to comprehend it, you need to enter the Enlightenment Pavilion. I think this is not difficult for you, right? The implication is that now that he has joined the Yuanling Holy Sect, if he wants to obtain the cultivation mind, he must rely on his own ability to fight. Jian Wushuang didn't care about this, but he was dumbfounded when he used his telekinesis to explore. The Enlightenment Pavilion is divided into 3 layers. The first layer corresponds to the Tao Lord. The second layer corresponds to the Emperor. The third layer corresponds to the Lord of the Universe. And Zhang Haichao's cultivation mind is at the top of the third layer. It takes a demigod level to comprehend the complete experience. The first and second levels of experience, of course, correspond to Daojun and Dijun, and are of little use to Jian Wushuang. He can only comprehend a few mysteries from them. Jian Wushuang's face was stern, but he sneered in his heart that the other party underestimated him. Your Highness, the saint said that everything depends on yourself. After saying that, he left with a wave of his sleeves. Since the other party is unwilling to take it out directly, then go and get it yourself. This Enlightenment Pavilion can't stop him. Although he is just a mortal now. He is not an ordinary mortal, but an existence who has comprehended the 6th turn of the divine I secret art. And what he comprehended is the more perfect divine I true transmission. Hey Chiu, you go in first and see if you can force the cultivation experience out directly. When he came close, Jian Wushuang did not go in directly. Instead, he asked He Chiu to grab it. He Chiu was stupid. He thought Jian Wushuang really wanted to go in by himself, but he didn't expect that he was allowed to go in. After all, he had the strength of a demigod, so he was not afraid and obeyed Jian Wushuang's orders. He Chiu, who had hidden his figure, stepped into the Enlightenment Pavilion. The disciples of the Yuanling Holy Sect who came and went could not find the black prisoner at all. They were just a little surprised when they saw the unfamiliar face of Jian Wushuang. There were very few disciples in the Holy Sect. They were all geniuses from all sides. There were only more than 1,000 disciples in the entire Holy Mountain. There were about 100 Daijins, half of whom were ultimate Daijins and half of whom were Daijins at the 2nd level of the Divine I Secret technique. They are all heaven-defying beings. There are about 100 emperors, each with a power of 100,000. The Lord of the Universe is not clear. This is the absolute core of the Holy Sect. There are many powerful people in the 8 Tribulations realm. With this, the title of the first Holy Sect can be firmly established. The Enlightenment Pavilion has laid the foundation for the future of these strong men. Because the true teachings in the Enlightenment Pavilion are the cultivation hearts of the sages of all generations. After countless years of accumulation, how can people not yearn for it? Just as Jian Wushuang was looking up and down, the black prisoner inside was suddenly ejected, and the black prisoner appeared directly, and his terrifying body made everyone around him stunned, and then reacted. Enemy attack! Someone broke into the Enlightenment Pavilion. Report to the sect master immediately. Open the sect protection formation. Jian Wushuang didn't expect the black prisoner to be kicked out, and he showed up, and he immediately became more curious about the Enlightenment Pavilion. He walked into the Enlightenment Pavilion carelessly, without paying any attention to the messy Yuanling sect disciples around him. Before entering, he naturally did not forget to put the black prisoner into the 9 Tribulations Tower. It's just that outsiders can't see all this. After he entered the Enlightenment Pavilion, Chen Qingling also appeared outside the Enlightenment Pavilion. Her eyes were cold, and she personally controlled the formation, carefully looking at the Enlightenment Pavilion and the entire Holy Mountain. She didn't detect any other auras. But the aura left by the black prisoner existed. This means that the other party not only entered the Enlightenment Pavilion, but also left easily. Either the other party's strength is extremely terrifying and has reached the level of the universe god, or even higher, or there is a traitor in the sect, covering up the mysterious strong man. Chen Qingling glanced at the people who came. Without saying much, he also thought of Jian Wushuang, but felt that Jian Wushuang didn't have the ability. Then he looked at the sect master and bowed his hands and said, I don't think this matter needs to be spread. Oh, The new sect master, Kai Tenuan, was slightly stunned, and then he thought of something and nodded. The elder next to him had no attitude at all, an old face with wrinkles, and a pair of eyes without any color, which were extremely empty. But his heart was extremely crazy. What's going on? Could it be that the dynasty has arranged other people to lurk in the Yuanling sect? The elder had all kinds of speculations in his heart, but his face did not show any fluctuations. Soon, this matter was suppressed, and the top leaders strengthened their defenses. At the same time, they also secretly recalled the strong men who were training outside to Chaos City. Secretly, the conspiracy gradually became louder. But these things have nothing to do with Jian Wushuang. After entering the Enlightenment Pavilion, Jian Wushuang began to look through those cultivation experiences. Each experience was left by a heaven-defying Taoist. Through the other party's Tao, Jian Wushuang seemed to see the other party's life. Tao name Piaoxue. Young man, seeing my perception, I believe you are also the limit of Tao. Remember, the integration of Tao is never the threshold to stop the strong, but the fear in your heart is. Seeing the message, Jian Wushuang smiled slightly. Although these perceptions are of no use to him, seeing the lives of the geniuses made him think of himself in the past unconsciously. He had left some insights at the beginning. At that time, he was still in the Qi Temple, and the biggest threat was not the extinction of life. At that time, there were too many memories. But as the most dazzling Taoist of that era, his path was also unusually firm. Just like this Taoist lord named Piaoxue. Through the origin, Jian Wushuang could sense that the other party had fallen. He fell on the Hadao. The difficulty of the Hadao lord against the heaven, even the lord of the universe would shake his head. After seeing the insights of one after another of the Taoist lords against the heaven, Jian Wushuang gained the greatest insight, which was fearlessness. That kind of fearlessness made the heart in his heart, which had been covered for a long time, emit a ray of light. A surge of blood rushed to him, and he saw the true heart. He stepped onto the second floor. Passing through the light curtain, an oppression from the Emperor's Avenue came instantly. Jian Wushuang naturally blocked it easily. At this time, he began to ask Heiqiu what happened after entering the Enlightenment Pavilion. Since he came in, he only felt 2 auras here. These 2 auras were both at the quasi-universe god level, so they would not make Heiqiu suffer. Master, don't be fooled by the breath of the true spirit here. It contains life, not a spirit body, Black Prisoner said with some excitement. He entered the Enlightenment Pavilion and went straight to the 3rd floor. The true spirit and array spirit here did not pose much threat to him, but when he was about to take away the cultivation heart left by Zhang Haichao, he was shocked out by another array. Just a light touch, the array shocked him out of the Enlightenment Pavilion. The strength is definitely at the level of the universe god, and the true spirit hidden inside also contains life. It is a strong man who is guarding Zhang Haichao's cultivation experience. Jian Wushuang smiled. He knew that this place would not be so simple. Chun Qingling must have attracted him here for some purpose. Dao Yu, why hide? This is your territory. Are you afraid of me? A mortal who has not mastered the origin of the Tao. He stood with his hands behind his back. His breath was flat. The top floor of the Enlightenment fell into a brief silence. Then, a pair of eyes gathered in a black mist, staring coldly at Jian Wushuang. You are not an ordinary person. A hoarse voice came from the mist. Jian Wushuang was a little surprised when he heard it, but he still said calmly, Dao Yu led me here. What exactly do you want? Why don't we all speak out? What he needs is the perception of the 7th revolution. Since everyone needs it, let's trade. If they really want to fight, Heiqiu may not be the opponent of the other party, but once Mo Yuntang comes out, he will definitely be able to take down the other party, so he has the confidence to talk about the deal and the confidence to overturn the table. He. Boy, although you are extraordinary, as you said, you have not mastered the origin of the way. So, you are not qualified to speak out with me here. As the voice fell, 6 black chains suddenly burst out from the black mist, trying to take down Heiqiu. The black mist felt that Jian Wushuang was not a threat, so of course it would be safest to take down Heiqiu first. But to be on the safe side, he still burst out the black mist to hold Jian Wushuang hostage. "Master, be careful." The black prisoner was furious, and his body suddenly turned into a size of 10,000 feet, bursting out 100 million divine powers, filling the entire Wudao building. Even the pressure on the Wudao building made it burst out countless rays of light, penetrating the space. This scene naturally attracted the attention of the outside world, but the outside world was also in chaos at this time. Above the holy mountain, a towering city descended an hour ago and suddenly attacked the holy sect. At this time, all the strong men of the holy sect were exhausted from resisting and had no time to take care of the things in the Wudao building. Saint Chun Qingling was fighting 3 at the moment, still at ease, looking at the Wudao building from time to time, with worry in her eyes. "Humph! Your Highness is so arrogant, fighting with me, and you dare to be distracted." A white-haired old man, holding the supreme imperial city in one hand and the Haotian divine stick in the other, was magnificent. But despite this, it still required the cooperation of 29 Tribulation's realm perfection strongmen to fight Chun Qingling. Chun Qingling's face moved, leaned over and hummed, and a series of magnificent rhythms descended, repelling the 3 people again. The figure flashed, and he actually went to the Enlightenment building. "Master, I hope you are right." Chun Qingling glanced at the battlefield below. At this time, the holy sect had fallen into a disadvantage. Although she was strong, there were people on the other side who could restrain her. It was only a matter of time before she was defeated. The other side's foundation was no worse than that of the Tianyuan holy sect. It was an ancient dynasty with a longer history. Inside the Enlightenment building, 6 chains bound the black prisoner tightly. Although the black prisoner struggled constantly, he could not break free. As expected of a puppet made by the God Eye clan, its power is truly endless. "It's a pity that you encountered." The black fog condensed into a human form at this time. Before he finished speaking, he saw a purple vine attacking his chest. The divine power contained in it shocked him, and it was almost the same as the black prisoner. He was so scared that he quickly retreated. At the same time, 6 black chains appeared behind him again, locking the Maoyun vine tightly. "Boy, you are not strong, but you have a lot of treasures on you." "Ha!" Just when he was proud, he found that hundreds of vines appeared around him at some point, and each vine was at the level of a quasi-universe god. A terrifying pressure instantly made him unable to move. Jian Wushuang raised his hand to defeat the surrounding black fog, and walked towards the black fog with a calm face. "How dare I come in without some treasures? Also, don't call me a kid just because you don't understand. I have a name, Jian Wushuang, and I may be a few years older than you. Young people, you just can't keep your cool," Jian Wushuang said, shaking his head and sighing, and said calmly, "Ma Yun, crush his origin." Buzz. The next moment, Qian Tung Ma Yun instantly pierced into the black fog. Bang! With a muffled sound, the black fog dissipated, revealing an illusory figure. "Zhang Haichao." Jian Wushuang's eyebrows moved, and he said, "If it's really you, it seems that you have been thinking about me since we first met." At this moment, Zhang Haichao was terrified, but he still held a glimmer of hope, and sneered, "Haha, this is just my clone. You can do whatever you want. My original body." "My original body?" Jian Wushuang interrupted him directly. His eyes flashed, and he saw through the other party's causal line at a glance. Including the other party's memory, it was instantly collected into one line. After checking, he continued, "You are actually the god of the universe suppressed by the Shanghai secret realm. How do you know?" Zhang Haichao was completely stunned at this time. How could he know Jian Wushuang's methods? At this moment, there was a trace of fear in his eyes. From the memories he searched, he knew that Zhang Haichao was just the reincarnation of the god of the universe in the Shanghai secret realm. That's why his comprehension is so high. If Jian Wushuang is not mistaken, the other party's original body is a quasi-5-star god of the universe. This combat power, placed in the heavens, and even in all the God Eye clan, is a very powerful existence. The key is that the other party is not a member of the God Eye clan. How could he be suppressed? He searched his memory for this matter, but did not get an explanation. So, the person who sealed Jiang Haichao's original body is at a higher level than Jian Wushuang. Could it be my senior brother? Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows, then his tone slowed down, and he said, Jiang Haichao, do you want to make a deal? Jiang Haichao was like an eggplant hit by frost at this time. Hearing that there was still hope for cooperation, he nodded immediately and said, What do you want? Is your original divine eye secret method the 9th turn? Jian Wushuang's eyes flashed. This time it will be solved once and for all. The 9th turn. As long as the other party assists him, this is not a problem of breaking through the 7th floor of the 9 Tribulations Tower. It is very likely to directly challenge the top. Then, he took the other party into the 9 Tribulations Tower and started to accelerate time. An inch in the outside world, a moment of time, and several reincarnations have passed. After greatly compressing time, Jian Wushuang appeared in the martial arts building again. He was completely changed. Not only did his aura change, but also his clothes. At this time, he was wearing a black robe embroidered with 8 dark gold holes. Those are 8 eyes. At this moment, he was only one opportunity away from challenging the top. And he met the Ghost Eye Senior Brother again. This dress was left to him by the Ghost Eye Senior Brother. In addition, the Ghost Eye Senior Brother also left a message. On the 9th floor, there is a Dharma body from the future teacher Xuani. At this moment, Jian Wushuang has endless motivation. The truth of everything is about to be revealed. And he will also pass the divine tribulation after knowing the truth. Master, Haiqiu said honestly. Jian Wushuang heard this. A smile appeared on his lips and said, Let's go out and take a look. He took away the formation here and left the Enlightenment building. That formation is a simple formation of the mountain and sea secret realm. Jiang Haichao has been comprehending for many years just to break this formation. But it has been broken by Jian Wushuang. Now he can break the mountain and sea secret realm and release Jiang Haichao's original body. Even the endless army of the God Eye clan. And a heavenly snake buried under the mountain and sea realm. Swish! Jian Wushuang and Haiqiu just left the Enlightenment building and found that it was pitch black all around. The original Chaos City disappeared, and even the surrounding savage continent disappeared. Looking up, an unparalleled imperial city was suspended in the sky. The original Enlightenment building was under the imperial city and was suppressed. Jian Wushuang moved his mind and found that Chen Qingling was still alive, and he was carrying a lot of causal lines. He should have escaped with some disciples of Tianyuan Shengzong, and the direction of his escape was the mountain and sea secret realm. He probably wanted to fight back for revenge. It seems that your disciple has violated your order and actually took people away. Jian Wushuang smiled lightly. Jiang Haichao's voice came in his mind. He said awkwardly, I'm sorry to make you laugh, Senior. I am a disciple here, but I am too soft-hearted. The original plan was to besiege the Senior and get the treasures on the Senior. For example, the puppet of Haiqiu is much more precious than the ones accumulated by Tianyuan Shengzong. Ha ha! Jian Wushuang laughed and said, But she did the right thing. Yes, if they really came to besiege him, Chen Qingling would either be killed on the spot or captured, and Tianyuan Shengzong would naturally be destroyed. After speaking, the supreme imperial city above his head suddenly shook. It was Haiqiu, who turned into a size of billions of miles and lifted the entire supreme imperial city with brute force. Stop playing around. There are things to do. Jian Wushuang naturally didn't bother to deal with these disputes. He was also racing against time. After taking away the Enlightenment Tower, he took the black prisoner and headed towards the mountain and sea secret realm. The supreme imperial city was thus saved. Your Majesty, that black puppet just now was. It must be the god of the universe. Quick! Leave this place while the other party disappears. The Star Palace Master, a 4-star peak universe god, could not enter the heaven. Now that Jiang Haichao said there was a way to get in, of course he was interested. But Jiang Haichao sneered in response. You are not strong enough, so don't think about it. To tell you the truth, my original body is about to be born. Be sensible and wait to welcome my original body. After that, he chose to self-destruct directly. Unfortunately, in front of a 4-star peak universe god, he did not have the qualifications. The Star Palace Master stretched out his hand and held Zhang Haichao firmly in his hand. After a slight exploration, his face suddenly changed. It is the mountain and sea secret realm. Are you the snake in the mountain and sea secret realm? At this moment, she was no longer calm. If that snake comes out, it will swallow up the entire Jufang time and space, and the next unlucky one will be the 3,000 islands. TSK. It seems that no one remembers my name Fu Hai, but only remembers the second soul of the master. Zhang Haichao's eyes were full of madness at this moment. His clone carries more memories. These memories even Jian Wushuang has not searched, because the memory of the clone being searched had been deleted. Chun Gu, give the order to notify all the universe gods immediately to follow me to the 9-direction spacetime to suppress the mountain and sea secret realm. Yes. The white-haired old man Chun Gu bowed and retreated. Zhang Haichao was taken away by the Starry Palace Master. Then she fell into memories. Those were the days dominated by God. The snake. Just as she was immersed in memories, a beautiful figure walked in. Mom, what happened? Why did you suddenly return to the 9-direction spacetime? The person who came had a pair of purple eyes. If Xianxia saw it, he would definitely go crazy. Because this person was Xing Luo. An hour later, all the universe gods of the 3,000 islands were summoned, and the mighty army of universe gods began to head towards the 9-direction spacetime. At this time, they crossed the sea, just like walking through a depression. Jian Wushuang, who was far away in the mountain and sea secret realm, had no idea about this. And Zhang Haichao was still immersed in joy, and did not take the Starry Palace Master seriously at all. There is a huge gap between the peak of 4 stars and the quasi-5-star cosmic god. Besides, there is the second soul of the Lord, which is a genuine 6-star cosmic god, enough to sweep away everything. The most important thing is that he can leave this world and go to the legendary Jieshan continent. Ha! Jian Wushuang frowned slightly at this time, and asked in surprise, someone from the outside world is blocking the door? Who? Everyone looked over in unison, but when they heard about the outside world, they were all stunned. Only Xiangyang reacted and asked hurriedly, where is your original body? Can you contact it now? Of course. It's just that the person blocking the door is a little special. Jian Wushuang smiled awkwardly. Xiangyang took a breath of cold air at the person who made his original body feel special. He had never seen Jian Wushuang's original body, but he had seen Jian Wushuang's clone at that time, which was a 7-star cosmic god. Outside world. The entire Jieshan continent has disappeared, and the Jieshan continent at this time has been completely incorporated into the starry sky. In other words, the lid to resist disorder is gone. Jian Wushuang's original body turned into a stone elephant, standing in the starry sky. And that special opponent was also an old acquaintance. Should I call you the Realm God or Jormungandr? Jian Wushuang flew out an illusory figure and stared at the white dragon python in midair. The dragon python had an eye on its forehead. He stared at Jian Wushuang, paused for a moment and said, Jian Wushuang, you are still alive. The snake under the mountain and sea secret realm should not be you. Jian Wushuang shook his head silently, and then said, no matter what, we may not be opponents. Why ruin my good thing? Jormungandr raised his huge head, gasped and replied, you and I are born opponents. This is destined. Without me, you can't pass the divine tribulation, let alone get the title of Zuanmingzi. Without the title, you can't climb the disordered mountain. Disordered mountain? Jian Wushuang said in surprise. You know a lot, but even if I don't pass the divine tribulation, you won't be my opponent. As soon as the voice fell, the stone elephant collapsed. Since it is unavoidable, then fight. The familiar full-power original body returned again. Jian Wushuang's eyes burst with fighting intent, and he started with the strongest sword. The 8th sword. I'll call you Shanhai. Clang. He drew out the Wuxia sword, waved it gently, and the sword light turned into the Milky Way and swept half of the starry sky. Unfortunately, the starry sky now has almost no life. Jian Wushuang could only sense that there was still a lot of life in the core of the starry sky. It should be the world beast that broke in. He didn't care about this, he only cared whether the sword could kill Jormungandr. Buzz! The sword light swept away. Jormungandr, his figure was illusory, and he wanted to dodge. But how could the power contained in this sword be offset by the change of space? It is accompanied by cause and effect, blood, breath, soul, life, and even individual consciousness. Lost memories should not leave this world again. The disordered world will eventually become orderly because of it. Jian Wushuang did not put away the sword, but drew another sword. The 9th sword. There is no name because of disorder. This? Jormungandr was shocked. How is that possible? You haven't passed the tribulation yet, and you haven't been awarded the title yet. How can you kill me? Jian Wushuang put away his sword this time and turned to enter the vortex below, which was connected to the mountain and sea secret realm. As for the galaxy sword light that swept across the starry sky, it also exploded in an instant. Since his telekinesis flew out of the mountain and sea realm and merged with his original body, although he has not passed the tribulation, it is better than passing the tribulation. In other words, because of the existence of disorder, he no longer needs to pass the tribulation. Now, he only needs to open up the 9th floor of the 9 Tribulations Tower to ascend to heaven in one step. The mountain and sea secret realm. The outside world is a moment, and it is more than 100 years inside. The Star Glory Palace Master has brought 3,000 universe gods to the mountain and sea secret realm. Fortunately, the clone Qian Tung Mayun blocked it for a moment. At this moment, the mountain and sea realm was also completely opened. Zhang Haichao laughed, and the waves overlapped. Zhang and I knew the existence of the outside world, and his eyes were full of confusion. Juchen was worried that he had offended the Star Glory Palace Master and had no place to stay. Xianxia was originally very excited because he was going out, but the moment he saw Xing Luo, he was angry again. The love at the beginning, the feelings of tens of thousands of years, are not worth letting the other party take a look. And Xing Luo also found Jian Wushuang and Xianxia. It's really you two. I didn't expect that after all these years, you were still alive. Xing Luo looked up and said, You open the mountain and sea secret realm? You really don't know how to live or die. Do you know how terrible it is sealed inside? The Xingyao Palace Master looked ugly at this time, and there was no need for his daughter to say it, because Zhang Haichao had already walked out carrying the reduced mountain and sea secret realm. In the green fog behind, a big snake flew into the sky. That breath shocked everyone present. 6-star cosmic god. There is also a quasi-5-star cosmic god. Zhang Haichao time is slowing down. But Jian Wushuang's hand speed is very fast. He uses the Moyun vine to keep grabbing those who are still sleeping in the God Eye tribe. He doesn't care about the others. Now he just wants to open the 9th floor of the 9 Tribulations Tower through the God Eye tribe. Boom! The next moment the war broke out. The aura of the Star Palace Master suddenly rose to the level of a 5-star cosmic god, and this scene caught everyone off guard. But before she could make a move, the aura of the white-haired old man beside him was also changing. And the big snake was instantly suppressed by a white-haired old man just before it exploded. Haha, Chingu, really have to thank you. Without you, I really can't leave this world. After he finished speaking, the whole person was covered with green mist, and his figure instantly turned into 1,000,000 feet tall. He raised his hand to destroy thousands of cosmic gods and absorb the blood of cosmic gods. The whole person turned bloody. Blood god. The face of the Star Palace Master changed drastically. He didn't expect that the legendary blood god was hiding beside him. Zhang Haichao was completely dumbfounded. He thought he was invincible, and with the Lord, he could suppress everyone directly. In the end, he was picked peaches. Blood god Chingu looked down on everyone and sneered. My blood is flowing in your bodies. Now it's time to repay me. After speaking, he slapped out with one palm. The aura of the seven-star cosmic god instantly crushed the surrounding time and space. Jian Wushuang, who was working hard, shook his head helplessly at this time. It's really an eyesore. Swish! A tiny figure appeared above the mountain and sea secret realm. It was a young man, carrying a magic sword and wearing dark red armor. When he came to the center of the battlefield, no one noticed him. The young man raised his hand and pointed. An endless sword energy that was not comparable to his own suddenly burst out. Chun Gu, who called himself the blood god, had not yet felt fear, and his whole body was completely crushed and turned into blood mist. Jian Wushuang's original body flew in front of Xianxia and others and smiled slightly. Let me introduce myself. This is my original body. After saying that, he looked at Zhang and I again and nodded slightly. He had already traveled through time for Hui Qing, and the father and daughter would soon recognize each other. Brother Wushuang, what level is your original body? Xiangyang widened his eyes. Except for him, the others were even more curious. Because the previous combat power of the blood god was definitely a 7-star peak universe god, and if all the blood was absorbed, it would definitely be an 8-star universe god. As a result, he was strangled by Jian Wushuang's sword energy. Fighting power is all fake. You will know when you go out, Jian Wushuang's original body said, and went directly to help the clone collect the Moyun vine. At the same time, he sent a message to Xiangyang, asking him to take everyone away from this world. Later, this world will collapse, because he challenged for the throne. Previously, the blood god killed all life and condensed blood. Now only the Star Palace Master and others are left. Naturally, they dare not refute Jian Wushuang and leave this world through the vortex. Jian Wushuang's clone and the original body merged with each other. 9th floor, open. The 9 Tribulations Tower was out of control and suspended in the air. The origin of the Tao also transformed at this moment. Without going through the tribulation, he has completed the journey of the God of the universe. Or should I say the God of time and space? It seems that neither is quite accurate. Jian Wushuang himself can't figure out what realm he is in. He just feels that if he wants to, even the starry sky created by the God King will probably be destroyed by his sword energy. Even those supreme beings in the dream are like ants in his eyes. Just when he was curious, the 9 Tribulations Tower emitted a ray of light and broke open. A staircase appeared in the holy light. Is this the way to the disordered mountain? That's right, Senior Brother Guiyen said that when he opened the 9th floor, he would see the teacher. Now the stairs of the disordered mountain appeared, and they were indeed going to meet. Stepping on the stairs, the space around him changed. In an instant, he left the 9-sided spacetime, the starry sky of the God King, and the unnecessary land. Because in his world there is order. Or in other words, now he can create an orderly world at will. The first step is a memory. He saw himself in the sword pavilion. The second step is the self in the divine fire realm. With a casual point, all the regrets of the past were made up. On the third step, he saw the old acquaintance Zeus, but the other party knelt down to him. The existence beyond the timeline. The old guy is really hidden. Jian Wushuang shook his head. The fourth step has reached the Great Siu, and there is nothing to recall. He is just a simple seeker of truth behind. But when he saw himself in the time spacetime, he still found it very interesting. In this way, he was in the disordered mountain, but he had an orderly experience and walked to the top of the mountain. There was no one here. Teacher Xuani. He had a premonition in his heart, so he tried to shout. As soon as he finished speaking, Teacher Xuani appeared. Jian Wushuang's eyes turned red, and strong emotions surged into his mind. Star Officer, Zuan Mingzi, meet your excellency. There was only a respectful smile and a grateful look on Xuani's face. This scene made Jian Wushuang surprised and disappointed. Sure enough, it was just as he thought, just as he imagined. He thought of Xuani, and Xuani came to this world. He thought of light, and there was light in this world. To get to this point, it was not Xuani who inspired him. It was he who inspired himself to the point where I can have it if I want it. Omnipotent. The whole book is finished.